All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to solve one of the most urgent cases you can imagine, an invasion of the central nervous system. This is a story about a fortress under siege, a frantic race against time, and some incredible clues that can literally mean the difference between life and death. It all starts with these telltale signs. But these aren't just symptoms. Think of them as a blaring siren, a desperate distress call coming from your body's command center. The brain is in serious trouble. And the first step in any investigation is to understand the scene of the crime. So just picture your brain as this heavily fortified castle. It's not just sitting there, it's wrapped in three protective layers of tissue called the meninges. And to get in from the bloodstream, any invader has to get past the ultimate security checkpoint, the blood-brain barrier. This whole system is designed to be impenetrable to keep the bad guys out. But sometimes the defenses are breached. Now, when an infection goes after those protective layers, the meninges, that's what we call meningitis. This is, for all intents and purposes, an attack on the fortress walls themselves. The very thing that's supposed to protect the brain is now inflamed and under siege. But what happens if the invader actually gets past the walls? Well, that's encephalitis. This is an infection of the brain tissue itself. The enemy is no longer at the gates. They're inside the command center, and the situation just became a whole lot more critical. So you see, the location of the attack is the first huge clue in our investigation. Is the battle raging at the walls, or have the invaders already gotten inside the castle? Just figuring that out is the first major step toward understanding the enemy and, more importantly, how to fight it. Which, of course, brings us to a really important question. If the brain is so well defended, how on earth do these dangerous pathogens get through those defenses in the first place? Well, it turns out there are four main ways they can sneak in. The most common route is through the bloodstream. An infection somewhere else in your body basically hitches a ride. Second, you have local extension. Think of this like the enemy tunneling in from a nearby battle, like a really bad sinus or ear infection. Third is just direct entry from a physical breach, like a head injury. And finally, some pretty clever viruses can actually travel along our own nerve highways, using the body's own infrastructure to sneak right into the brain. So, once that breach has happened and the alarm bells are ringing, the clock is ticking and it's ticking fast. It's time for our medical detectives to figure out exactly who the invader is. So how do they do it? It's not like you can just look inside, right? You need to find some kind of evidence, a clue, that tells you the story of what's really happening inside that sealed-off environment. And that crucial clue is found in the cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF. This is the clear liquid that bathes and cushions the brain and spinal cord.